going to talk about 3 keys to building sustaining relationships. I learned this from Jesse Itzler. I've applied this for about the last 3 or 4 years. This is an absolute game changer. It's 3 C's, so just write C, C, C. If you can do these 3 things for the rest of your life, you're going to build long-term relationships, whether it's a significant other or it's just people that you want in your life on a personal or professional level. It's really simple. The first C is to compliment. Look for opportunities to compliment people. Hey, Jared, that is an amazing blazer. How did you get that idea to start that?
Yeah, love that.
So I'm actually pretty sure I asked him that question. And then he started asking me about marketing advice. He's like, the next day, he's like, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Right. But that's how conversations start. One of the worst compliments you can give, like, oh man, it just makes me cringe when guys go up to a bartender and they say, you're beautiful. Like, what are they supposed to say? Josh getting a kick out of that. We see that all the time. One of my best,
too much.
It is a compliment, but in the same sense, what is that person supposed to say? It's like, okay, thanks. And then it leads to, there's a lot more descriptive ways that you can say, hey, you're beautiful. If you're in a long-term relationship, that's a little bit different. If you've been with someone for a while, it's a little bit different to say, oh, you're beautiful. But if you introduce yourself to someone when you're out and you just say, hey, like, what are you drinking? That starts leading to a conversation. Does that make sense? Oh, if you want to throw a compliment, that looks like a cool drink. Like that watermelon thing I talked about. I'm like, oh, that looks like a cool drink. What is that? And it led to this long conversation where she's actually like, hey, I got a friend I really want you to meet. So if you want to build long-term relationships, you have to look for ways to compliment, but don't give fake compliments. They suck. My brother, who's on the call right there, we've talked about this for years. And he's like, dude, this has been a game changer. My dad is the easiest person for me to disagree with. But thankfully, because of Grant Cardone, I understand that even if I don't agree, I have to agree with him. Years ago, things started to change when I started complimenting. And I remember I was in the car one time and there was probably 5 of us. All I literally said was a compliment about what he does for work. He could not stop talking the entire car ride. And I looked at my brother after, I'm like, yeah, I just started that with a compliment. He's like, oh. So Tommy Lahren, when I met Tommy Lahren, I was shaking. Matt was with me. I was shaking. I was like, man, I can't believe Tommy Lahren is right there, right in front of me. So I'm like, I told my brother, I'm like, I'm not going to not say hi. So I just went up and I just said, hey, I just want to thank you for the example that you're setting for our generation. She gets up, she stands up from her seats, shakes my hand and says, hi, I'm Tommy. We had like a 5 to 10 minute conversation with her. And my brother looks at me after, he's like, dude, how did you get so good at conversations? I'm like, I don't know. I just gave a compliment when I started. This is a girl who's gotten drinks thrown in her face for literally doing nothing, gets harassed over social media. And I just said, hey, thanks for the example that you set. I literally thought we were going to go get lunch with her and her dad, but we didn't do that because we never asked. But that's what it felt like. That's why these are so important. But it's a genuine compliment. It's not a fake compliment. Okay, there's a big difference in between those two. So the second C is congratulate. So when I'm scrolling through social media, I'm just looking for opportunities to say, oh, congrats on the 1-year anniversary. Congrats on the baby. Happy birthday. And then I'll put like a little celebration thing. I'm looking for that all the time on social media. Look for opportunities to congratulate people. Then number 3 is console. If we're talking about relationships, you want to hear something crazy I did this weekend? There's a girl that I kind of like. Her friend broke up with her boyfriend. She went through the ringer being there for her friend this weekend. Oh my gosh, hearing about the stories, I was like, whoa. Broken ankle, late night in places she probably shouldn't have been. And I was like, wow, I got a lot of respect for you just kind of dropping everything to be there for your friend. I don't know if guys do that, but like, I know this is a common thing with girls because I've asked people. So I wrote a letter and I just said something as simple as, hey, my mentor once taught me how important it is to be there for your friends when they need you the most. And seeing you do that for your friend this weekend was really inspiring to see. And then I just said, it sounds like it's been a long week for you. Here's a couple of liquid IVs in case you need a little boost the rest of the weekend. That was it. I was complimenting what she did for her friend while she was consoling her friend. So people who console, like people who show up, when you showed up to speaker school, when you showed up tonight, when you showed up to my event, that's consoling, man. You showed up for me. I needed that. Like, I needed that. You can probably all relate to a moment in your life when you needed people there. And it's hard to not have an extended appreciation for those people who showed up when you needed them the most. Rob is a perfect example. Rob hit me up like the week before the pandemic, and I'm so glad he did. He's like, dude, I'm in a meatball eating contest. I need you there. That's pretty much all he said. I said, you know what? I'm there. It's like a Monday night. I showed up. I was like the counter. I was like counting how many meatballs he had. And he was just like, boom, 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 boom. 57 meatballs in 5 minutes. No one was even close to this guy. I bet you this guy could have had another 10 more if he wanted it. But yeah, that was what was going through my head. I said, my friend needs me. I got to be there. So those are the 3 C's to building long-term relationships.